Auzubillahiminash-shaytanir-rajim. Bismillahir-Rahmanir-Rahim. Dear brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to another session for this holy month of Ramadan. Today is the 23rd of Ramadan, and inshallah we are accompanied by our respected scholar Agha Farhat Abbas to continue his discussion, which is mainly about the basic Islamic belief systems. And within that, we are discussing different other topics as well. So inshallah for tonight, there's a very important question, thought-provoking subject is going to be discussed today. And the question is, can God create a stone that he cannot lift? So think about it before we discuss this question. And inshallah, we'll begin the program tonight again with Dua Iftitah. Let's recite aloud or salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wajil farajahum.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد اللهم إني أفتتح الثناء بحمدك وأنت مسدد للصواب بمنك وأيقنت أنك أنت أرحم الراحمين في موضع العفو والرحمة وأشد المعاقبين في موضع النكال والنقمة وأعظم المتجبرين في موضع الكبرياء والعظمة اللهم أذنت لي في دعائك ومسألتك فاسمع يا سميع مدحتي وأجب يا رحيم دعوتي وأقل يا غفور عثرتي فكم يا إلهي من كربة قد فرجتها وهموم قد كشفتها وعثرة قد أقلتها ورحمة قد نشرتها وحلقة بلاء قد فككتها الحمد لله الذي لم يتخذ صاحبة ولا ولدا ولم يكن له شريك في الملك ولم يكن له ولي من الذل وكبره تكبيرا الحمد لله بجميع محامده كلها على جميع نعمه كلها الحمد لله الذي لا مضاد له في ملكه ولا منازع له في أمره الحمد لله الذي لا شريك له في خلقه ولا شبيه له في عظمته الحمد لله الفاشي في الخلق أمره وحمده الظاهر بالكرم مجده الباسط بالجود يده الذي لا تنقص خزائنه ولا تزيده كثرة العطاء إلا جودا وكرما إنه هو العزيز الوهاب اللهم إني أسألك قليلا من كثير مع حاجة بي إليه عظيم وغناك عنه قديم وهو عندي كثير وهو عليك سهل يسير اللهم إن عفوك عن ذنبي وتجاوزك عن خطيئتي وصفحك عن ظلمي وسترك على قبيح عملي وحلمك عن كثير جرمي عندما كان من خطئي وعمدي أطمعني في أن أسألك ما لا أستوجبه منك الذي رزقتني من رحمتك وأريتني من قدرتك وعرفتني من إجابتك فصرت أدعوك آمنا وأسألك مستأنسا لا خائفا ولا وجلا مدلا عليك فيما قصدت فيه إليك فإن أبطأ عني عتبت بجهلي عليك ولعل الذي أبطأ عني هو خير لي لعلمك بعاقبة الأمور فلم أر مولا كريما أصبر على عبد اللئيم منك علي يا رب إنك تدعوني فأولي عنك، وتتحبب إلي فأتبغض إليك، وتتودد إلي فلا أقبل منك، كأن لي التطول عليك. فلم يمنعك ذلك من الرحمة لي والإحسان إلي والتفضل علي بجودك وكرمك، فارحم عبدك الجاهل وجد عليه بفضل إحسانك، إنك جواد كريم. الحمد لله مالك الملك مجري الفلك مسخر الرياح فالق الإصباح ديان الدين رب العالمين. الحمد لله على حلمه بعد علمه، والحمد لله على عفوه بعد قدرته، والحمد لله على طول أناته في غضبه وهو قادر على ما يريد. الحمد لله خالق الخلق باسط الرزق فالق الإصباح ذي الجلال والإكرام والفضل والإنعام، الذي بعد فلا يرى وقرب فشهد النجوى تباركت وتعالى. الحمد لله الذي ليس له منازع يعادله، ولا شبيه يشاكله، ولا ضجير يعاضده، قهر بعزته الأعزاء وتواضع لعظمته العظماء فبلغ بقدرته ما يشاء. الحمد لله الذي يجيبني حين أنادي ويستر علي كل عورة وأنا عصي، ويعظم النعمة علي فلا أجاري. فكم من موهبة هنيئة قد أعطاني، وعظيمة مخوفة قد كفاني، وبهجة مونقة قد أراني، وأذكره مسبحا. الحمد لله الذي لا يهتك حجابه ولا يغلق بابه ولا يرد سائله ولا يخيب آمله. الحمد لله الذي يؤمن الخائفين وينجي الصالحين ويرفع المستضعفين ويضع المستكبرين ويهلك ملوكا ويستخلف آخرين. الحمد لله قاسم الجبارين مبير الظالمين مدرك الهاربين نكال الظالمين صريخ المستصرخين موضع حاجات الطالبين معتمد المؤمنين. الحمد لله الذي من خشيته ترعد السماء وسكانها وترجف الأرض وعمارها وتموج البحار ومن يسبح في غمراتها. الحمد لله الذي هدانا لهذا وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله. الحمد لله الذي يخلق ولم يخلق ويرزق ولا يرزق ويطعم ولا يطعم ويميت الأحياء ويحيي الموتى وهو حي لا يموت بيده الخير وهو على كل شيء قدير. اللهم صل على محمد عبدك ورسولك وأمينك وصفيك وحبيبك وخيرتك من خلقك وحافظ سرك ومبلغ رسالاتك، أفضل وأحسن وأجمل وأكمل وأزكى وأنمى وأطيب وأطهر وأسنى وأكثر ما صليت وباركت وترحمت وتحننت وسلمت على أحد من عبادك وأنبيائك ورسلك وصفوتك وأهل الكرامة عليك من خلقك. اللهم صل على علي أمير المؤمنين وصي رسول رب العالمين عبدك ووليك وأخي رسولك وحجتك على خلقك وآيتك الكبرى والنبأ العظيم. وصل على الصديقة الطاهرة فاطمة سيدة نساء العالمين. وصل على سبطي الرحمة إمامي الهدى الحسن والحسين سيدي شباب أهل الجنة. وصل على أئمة المسلمين علي بن الحسين ومحمد بن علي وجعفر بن محمد وموسى بن جعفر وعلي بن موسى ومحمد بن علي وعلي بن محمد والحسن بن علي والخلف الهادي المهدي حججك على عبادك وأمنائك في بلادك صلاة كثيرة دائمة. اللهم صل على ولي أمرك القائم المؤمل والعدل المنتظر وحفه بملائكتك المقربين وأيده بروح القدس يا رب العالمين. اللهم اجعله الداعي إلى كتابك والقائم بدينك استخلفه في الأرض كما استخلفت الذين من قبله. مكن له دينه الذي ارتضيته له، أبدله من بعد خوفه أمنا يعبدك لا يشرك بك شيئا. اللهم أعزه وأعزز به وانصره وانتصر به وانصره نصرا عزيزا وافتح له فتحا يسيرا واجعل له من لدنك سلطانا نصيرا. اللهم اظهر به دينك وسنة نبيك حتى لا يستخفي بشيء من الحق مخافة أحد من الخلق. اللهم إنا نرغب إليك في دولة كريمة تعز بك الإسلام وأهله وتذل بك النفاق وأهله وتجعلنا فيها من الدعاة إلى طاعتك والقادة إلى سبيلك وترزقنا بها كرامة الدنيا والآخرة. اللهم ما عرفتنا من الحق فحملنا وما قصرنا عنه فبلغنا. اللهم المم به شعثنا واشعب به صدعنا وارتق به فتقنا وكثر به قلتنا وعزز به ذلتنا واغن به عائلنا واقض به مورمنا واجبر به فقرنا وسد به خلتنا ويسر به عسرنا وبيض به وجوهنا وفك به أسرانا وأنجح به طلبتنا وانجز به مواعيدنا واستجب به دعوتنا وأعطنا به سولنا وبلغنا به من الدنيا والآخرة آمالنا وأعطنا به فوق رغبتنا يا خير المسؤولين وأوسع المعطين. اشف به صدورنا واذهب به غيظ قلوبنا واهدنا به لما اختلف فيه من الحق بإذنك إنك تهدي من تشاء إلى صراط مستقيم. وانصرنا به على عدوك وعدونا إله الحق آمين. اللهم إنا نشكو إليك فقد نبينا صلواتك عليه وآله وغيبة ولينا وكثرة عدونا وقلة عددنا وشدة الفتن بنا وتظاهر الزمان علينا. فصل على محمد وآله وعنا على ذلك بفتح منك تعجله وبضر تكشفه ونصر تعزه وسلطان حق تظهره ورحمة منك تجللناها وعافية منك تلبسناها برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين.
अल्लाहुम्मा सल्ली अला मुहम्मद व आलि मुहम्मद वाजिल फरजहुम। मैं तमाम मोमिनीन व मोमिनात से गुजारिश करना चाहूँगा कि आज के इस प्रोग्राम के लिए जिस भी बिरादर और जिस भी ख्वाहर ने हमारे साथ ताउन किया है, बराए मेहरबानी उनकी मरहुमीन व मरहुमात के रुह के बुलंदी दर्जात के लिए एक मरतबा एक मरतबा सूरह अल-फातिहा और 3 मरतबा सूरह इखलास की तिलावत फरमा दीजिए। बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। اللہم صلی علی محمد و آل محمد وعجل فرجہم. اب میں ملتمس ہوں آغا محترم سے انشاءاللہ کہ وہ آج کی اپنی ڈسکشن کا آغاز فرمائیں. اور مومنین مومنات، آج کا جو موضوع ہے ہمارا اس حوالے سے کویسچن ٹائپ کر کے یہاں نیچے میں نے چیٹ میں جو ہے وہ ڈالا ہے کہ کین گاڈ کریٹ اے اسٹون دیٹ ہی کین ناٹ لفٹ. سو یہ اسکرین پہ بھی آپ دیکھ رہے ہیں. تو اوور ٹو یو آغا صاحب. السلام علیکم ورحمۃ اللہ.
وعلیکم السلام ورحمۃ اللہ وبرکاتہ. بسم اللہ الرحمن الرحیم. الحمدللہ رب العالمین والصلاة والسلام علی سید الانبیاء والمرسلین وعلی آلہ الطیبین الطاہرین سیما بقیت اللہ فی الارضین ولعنۃ اللہ علی اعدائہم اجمعین من الآن الی یوم الدین. صلو علی محمد وآل محمد. اللہم صلی علی محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجہم. So I will request for first of all to recite another Surah Fatiha for Shaheed Khidmat Dr. Sayyid Waqar Ali, because I got the request from the 9 years old. Again, ہمیں مطلب تقریباً I think more than 7, 8 month, 9 month تقریباً ہو گئے ہیں ڈاکٹر صاحب کو اس دنیا سے رخصت ہوئے ہوئے. لیکن بہرحال یہ داغ ابھی ہمارے دلوں پہ تازہ ہے. لہٰذا آپ لوگوں سے ریکویسٹ ہے کہ اگر آپ لوگ ایک دفعہ اور ایک سورہ فاتحہ پڑھ دیجئے. شہید خدمت واقعہ نے ایک بہت خدمت انہوں نے انجام دی ہے اسٹارٹ میں، یہ جو کرونا وائرس کا تھا. سید وقار علی، مرحوم سید وقار علی صاحب کے لیے انشاءاللہ ایک دفعہ سورہ فاتحہ پڑھ دیجئے. بسم اللہ الرحمن الرحیم. الحمدللہ رب العالمین مالک یوم الدین ایاک نعبد و ایاک نستعین اهدنا الصراط المستقیم صراط الذین انعمت علیہم غیر المغضوب علیہم. انشاءاللہ خداوند تعالیٰ اپنے حبیب کے صدقے میں، ائمہ علیہ السلام کے صدقے میں، خصوصاً امیر المومنین علی ابن ابی طالب علیہ السلام کے صدقے میں شہید ڈاکٹر سید وقار علی کے درجات کو بلند کریں. انشاءاللہ ان کے جو درجات ہیں وہ جنت میں ان کو اہل بیت کے ساتھ محشور کریں. اور جو ان کی فیملی ہے ماشاءاللہ انہوں نے بہت ہمت و استقامت کا ثبوت دیا ہے. خداوند تعالیٰ ان کی استقامت میں اضافہ کرے، ان کے صبر میں اضافہ کرے، ان کے بچوں کو خوشیاں عطا فرمائے، کامیابیاں عطا کرے اس دنیا میں. انشاءاللہ ایک صلوات پڑھ دیجیے. اللہم صلی علی محمد. دیکھیے آج ہم یہ جو ڈسکشن کر رہے ہیں، آپ میں سے بہت سے سوال کریں گے بھائی یہ ڈسکشن کیا ڈسکشن ہے، کیا یہ ایک اسلامک ڈسکشن ہے یا نہیں ہے. کیونکہ عموماً آپ لوگ اس طرح کی ڈسکشنز آپ یونیورسٹیز میں سنتے ہیں. یہاں پہ بچے جب بھی سائیکالوجی کی یا فلاسفی کی کلاس میں جاتے ہیں تو یہ ڈسکشن یہاں پر ہوتی ہے اکثر. یقینی طور پہ ڈبلن میں بھی یونیورسٹیز جو ہیں، جو آئرلینڈ میں جو یونیورسٹیز ہیں، یو کے میں جو یونیورسٹیز ہیں، وہاں پر بھی یقینی طور پہ ڈسکشنز ہوتی ہوں گی. میرا اب یہاں پر پہلے میں یہاں سے کویسچن یہیں سے سوال کر رہا ہوں آپ لوگوں سے. میں چاہ رہا ہوں کہ یوتھ اس میں پارٹیسپیٹ کریں، کہ وہ بتائیں کہ کیا جواب ہے. کین گاڈ کریٹ اے اسٹون دیٹ ہی کین ناٹ لفٹ ہمسیلف. اس کو آپ یہاں سے شروع کریں. لیٹس سی، میں دیکھتا ہوں، دیکھنا چاہتا ہوں کہ کیا اس کے جواب آتے ہیں. Very good. Jerry Abbas, he pointed out, you can see this, his response. It's a very good response. Because it's a tricky question, no doubt. But what's the answer? So again, very good. He mentioned that it's invalid. Again, like I'm not looking the right answer right now. I basically like to have, so your think process can start working. Okay. So abhi bahut achha jawab diya انہوں نے. آپ لیکن میں چاہتا ہوں کہ لوگ اس پہ آغاز کریں. کوئی ہو سکتا ہے کوئی کہے کہ نو اٹس اے ویلڈ کوسچن, اٹس اے ویلڈ کوسچن. Everything, yeah. Like for example, someone can say everything is in the power of Allah. Is it not that you say that Allah can do everything? Then why can't Allah do this? Why can't Allah create a stone that He Himself cannot lift? چاہیں تو آپ لوگ تھوڑی دیر کے لیے مائک آن کر لیں اور مجھ سے ڈسکس کر سکتے ہیں آپ. اچھا, لیٹ می آسک فرام دا ایلڈرز, کیا یہ ایک اسلامی کوشچن ہے یا نہیں ہے؟ اور آر وی ویسٹنگ آور ٹائم فور دس کوشچن؟
آغا یہ اسلامک کوشچنس تو ہیں, کوشچن ہے ظاہر خدا کی طاقت کے بارے میں کوئی ٹرک کرنا چاہ رہا ہے, کوئی ٹرک کر کے پوچھنا چاہ رہا ہے, یہ میری اپنی سوچ کے حساب سے بتا.
رائٹ. سو اگر فرض کریں ہم اس کو آنسر نہ کر سکیں تو کیا نقصانات ہوں گے؟
آغا شاید ہم اپنے ہی خدا کو کمزور کر دیں گے اس کی نظر میں, یا ہم بھی کنفیوز ہو جائیں گے.
رائٹ رائٹ, بالکل صحیح ہے. میں آپ کو میں ابھی خود تھوڑی دیر پہلے سوچ رہا تھا اس مسئلے پر. آپ کو معلوم ہے کہ ہمارے یہاں ایک بڑا بیسک فلا ہے. میں نے پہلے بہت دفعہ کہا ہے اس بات کو. اب آپ لوگ پلیز اس 2 منٹ کی گفتگو کو بہت غور سے سنیے گا, پھر میں دوبارہ اس کوسچن پہ آ جاؤں گا. ہمارے میں اکثر کہہ چکا ہوں, میں آپ سے جب جتنے عرصے سے آپ کی طرف آپ کی خدمت میں حاضر ہو رہا ہوں, میں ایک بات مستقل ریپیٹ کر رہا ہوں, اور وہ یہ ہے کہ ہمارے پاس ایک بہت بڑا فلا ہے اسلامک ٹیچنگ میں. وہ فلا یہ ہے کہ ہم اسٹارٹ جو ہے وہ اپنی روٹ سے نہیں کرتے. یعنی بچوں کی تربیت سے لے کے ہر چیز میں, مثلاً جب ہم بچے کو کہتے ہیں بھئی آؤ نماز پڑھو, تو نماز پڑھنے سے پہلے ہم نے بھئی نماز کیوں پڑھو, نماز کیا ہے؟ سوال میرا یہ ہے, نماز کیا ہے؟ بھئی آپ کھڑے ہوئے اور آپ نے خدا کے حکم پر کچھ عمل انجام دینا شروع کیا. اپنی توجہ آپ نے ایک طرف مرکوز کر لی. You basically facing قبلہ, you're standing up, you're not talking, you're not eating, and you're performing specific steps خدا کے لیے. بھئی ہم نے یہ تو کہہ دیا بچے کو کہ خدا کے لیے, ہم نے یہ نہیں بتایا کہ کیوں کریں خدا کے لیے. ہم نے صرف یہ بتایا خدا کے لیے کہ اگر آپ یہ نہیں کریں گے تو دیکھیں آپ جہنم میں جائیں گے. تو ہم نے کیا بتایا؟ بھئی دیکھیں ہم نے ابھی خدا کو انٹروڈیوس نہیں کرایا. ہم نے کہا بھئی دیکھو تم بیٹھے ہوئے کھیل رہے ہو, گیم کھیل رہے ہو, اٹھو جا کے نماز پڑھو. اگر میں نماز نہیں پڑھوں گا تو کیا ہوگا؟ جہنم میں جاؤ گے. تو ہم نے کیا خدا کا ایک امیج کریٹ کیا. بھئی دیکھیں ہم نے خدا کا امیج یہ کریٹ کیا کہ بھئی دیکھیں جہنم کے اندر جو ہے آخرت میں خدا کے پاس پاور ہے, وہاں پر جو ہے اگر آپ نے یہ کام نہیں کیا تو آپ جہنم میں جائیں گے. کیا اس دنیا میں بھی کوئی خدا کے پاس پاور ہے؟ یہ ہمارا جو اسٹائل تھا, یہ اس نے بعض اوقات بعض بچے تو ماشاءاللہ بہت اچھے ہوتے ہیں, ماں باپ کا جو کہتے ہیں وہ کہتے ہیں ہاں, ماں باپ سے بڑی محبت ہوتی ہے, ان کو بہت محبت ہوتی ہے تو کر لیتے ہیں, بات مان لیتے ہیں. ماں باپ کہہ رہے ہیں چلو بھی پڑھ لیتے ہیں, ان کو خوش کرنے کے لیے پڑھ لیتے ہیں, یا یہ کہہ رہے ہیں تو صحیح کہہ رہے ہوں گے لے پڑھ لیتے ہیں. بہت سارے دوسرے کچھ بچے ایسے ہوتے ہیں, تھوڑے سے بچے ایسے ہوتے ہیں, وہ کہتے ہیں نہیں آئی ڈونٹ نو, ان کے اتنے اچھے ریلیشن شپ بھی نہیں ہوتے پیرنٹس کے ساتھ, اور وہ یا ٹیچرز کے ساتھ یا علماء کے ساتھ, کہتے ہیں وائی شوڈ آئی ڈو اٹ. دیکھیں ایک چیز ہم نے جو بیسک بھول گئے وہ یہ ہے کہ ورشپ کس کی ہوتی ہے؟ کمال کی ہوتی ہے. عبادت کمال کی ہوتی ہے. isn't it کہ آپ میں سے جتنے بھی ہیں اگر کوئی خوبصورت آرٹ دیکھیں, ابھی میں ایک خوبصورت سی پکچر, ایک بہترین پینٹنگ لا کے یہاں لگا دوں, امیزنگ, آپ کیا کریں گے؟ آپ انٹر ہوں گے اضاخانہ-ے-زہرا میں, سارے کے سارے جا کے اس پکچر کے سامنے کھڑے ہو جائیں گے, सब के सब उस पिक्चर के सामने खड़े हो जाएंगे और उसके बाद कहेंगे क्या माशाल्लाह कितनी अच्छी पेंटिंग बनाई है ये, वाओ लुक एट दिस, यहां देखो कितना खूबसूरत है, अरे कितना खूबसूरत सीन बनाया है, किसने बनाई है? क्या कर रहे हैं आप? ये सारे लोग क्या कर रहे हैं? ये सारे लोग अपनी अटेंशन उस पेंटिंग की तरफ कर रहे हैं, यानी उनका किबला पेंटिंग है इस वक्त। और उसके बाद क्या कर रहे हैं? अल्हम्दु अल्हम्दु, हमद किसकी? जिसने पेंटिंग बनाई, पेंटिंग की हमद। मेरे इस नुक्ते को गौर से समझिए, वर्शिप कमाल की होती है। हमने पहले खुदा में कमाल जाहिर ही नहीं किए, हमने खुदा को इंट्रोड्यूस नहीं कराया, हमने कहा जाके नमाज पढ़ो। अगर हम ये कहते, पहले हम बताते बच्चे को बैठे कि भाई देखें खुदा क्या है, खुदा बहुत पावरफुल है, हिज ऑमनीप्रेजेंस, हिज ऑमनिशेंट, हिज ऑल पावरफुल। तुम्हें जो भी प्रॉब्लम है खुदा उसको हल कर सकता है, तुम्हें मर्ज है खुदा उसको शिफा दे सकता है, तुम्हें किसी कोई इनसिक्योरिटी है खुदा तुम्हें प्रोटेक्ट कर सकता है। ये हमारा मसला है कि हमें जहां पर हमारा नमाज में या रोजे में किसी चीज में जब दिल नहीं लग रहा, क्योंकि हमें उस खुदा की ताकत पर, खुदा की उस कमाल पर, खुदा की उस खूबसूरती पर, खुदा के उस मुसव्विर हमें यकीन नहीं है उसे पूरी तरह से। अब आप देखिए कितना अहम है ये कॉन्सेप्ट, इन्नल्लाह अला कुल्लि शैइन कदीर। अगर आप किसी भी इंसान, जैसे बिल्कुल आपने कोई अनाउंस नहीं किया, आपने ये नहीं कहा कि भाई इस पेंटिंग को, जो एक शाहकार पेंटिंग आपने लगा के लगाई, शाहकार, आपने अनाउंस नहीं किया कि भाई इस पेंटिंग के सामने खड़े होकर इसकी तारीफ करना, अगर आप नहीं करेंगे आप अज़ाखाना-ए-ज़हरा में नहीं घुस सकते, आपने नहीं कहा, या आपको पनिशमेंट मिलेगी। आपने सिर्फ दरवाजा खोला, लोग खुद ब खुद, लोगों के दिल उनको उस पेंटिंग के सामने ले गए और उनका तवज्जो सारी की सारी पेंटिंग की तरफ हो गई और उनके मुंह से बेख्तियार हमद निकलने लगी। अब आप देख रहे हैं कि परस्तिश किसको कहते हैं? इसको कहते हैं वर्शिप, इसको वर्शिप कहते हैं। अगर हम खुदा के कमाल, खुदा की खूबसूरती, खुदा की ब्यूटी के कायल हो जाएंगे ना, तो हम इस तरह से, अब आप समझेंगे क्यों जो उलफा होते हैं, जो औलिया होते हैं, वो किस तरह से इश्क होता है उनको खुदा से, क्योंकि खुदा की खूबसूरती के, खुदा की हमद के कायल होते हैं, वो खुदा की उस ब्यूटी को इस तरह से कंप्रीहेंड कर रहे होते हैं। ऑलराइट, सो अब आप समझिए कितना अहम है ये सवाल। ये सवाल आपके बेस रूट के ऊपर क्या कहते हैं, वो चीज है कि खुदा इज नॉट एन ऑमनीपोटेंट, खुदा इज नॉट ऑल पावरफुल। हाउ इंपॉर्टेंट इज टू रिजॉल्व इट। देखें आप कितना अहम है इसको सवाल करना। बहरहाल देखिए, एक किसी का मेरे पास जो डायरेक्ट प्राइवेट उसमें है कि गॉड हैज अनलिमिटेड पावर, ही हैज सो मच पावर फर्दर देन our capabilities of thinking such. लेकिन then what's the answer for this one? Can God create a stone that he cannot lift? Can God create a stone, unliftable stone? If you say no, then he's not all powerful. And if you say, yeah, he can create a stone, but then I will ask, can he lift that stone? You says, no, he cannot. Yes, he can lift that stone. Then he didn't create that unliftable stone. He can lift it, but why would he make it? It's a good question. I love this. All right. Anyone else? Again, let me explain this part. Today's question is like, it's a lengthy session, right? So we will continue it tomorrow. So अगर आज आपने इसको ज्वाइन किया सेशन, तो आपने कल भी ज्वाइन करना है। अगर आपने नहीं ज्वाइन करना, आप इस वक्त जो है लॉग आउट कर लें, आप आउट कर लें। क्यों? क्योंकि अदरवाइज you will have doubts. You will keep with the doubts. The complete answer you will get it tomorrow. Okay. वरना आप आज के सेशन के ऊपर कुछ नहीं आप क्या कहते हैं बिल्डअप करेंगे. All right. So again, I'm getting different answers. I'm very happy that the youth, they are participating. Well, he should be able to lift it because he can do everything. अगर आप लोग सारे जितने भी हैं इसको प्राइवेट करने की जगह अगर आप भेज यानी एवरीवन भेज दें तो सब पढ़ लेंगे. आपके जवाब अच्छे हैं, कोई मसला नहीं है. You don't need to be just send it to me. You can just send it to everyone, right? So this way I don't need to. The people they will read and then they will respond and they will participate. Okay, let me explain this problem first, so you can have more idea. Okay. All right, let's pay attention to this chart. I mean, no matter where you go in this discussion, this will basically deny the omnipotent nature of the God. Right? So if you start and you say, can God create a stone which he cannot lift? There are only two possibilities. You will say yes or no, right? It's a binary question, but the answer will be binary, yes or no. So can God create a stone which he cannot lift? If you say no, then it means that you're acknowledging that God is not all powerful. God is not all powerful. All powerful, okay? And he cannot do one thing. That's it. He may do everything. He may not do this one. That means you cannot call him omnipotent. That's number one. If you say yes, he can create that stone, then obviously the second question will be, can God lift? Okay, are you following that arrow, right? Start going arrow here. This first, can God create a stone which he cannot lift? If you say no, God is not powerful. If you say yes, this way, I don't know if you can see my mouse. Can you see my mouse? When I'm moving this mouse movement?
Yes, we can see that.
Okay. So can God lift that stone? Again, the answer is yes or no. If you say no, then God is still not powerful. If you say yes, then of course he didn't create that unliftable. He created a liftable stone. Did not create a stone which he cannot lift, which means God is not. All right. Let me look for your comments. Is there any new comments or anything? There is one chat. Okay. What does yes mean? He can create or he cannot create?
Yeah, so I think ये आपके mouse के उसके मुतालिक answer था.
Oh, okay, mouse. All right, thank you. Because I have multiple screens open, so the chat basically get disappear when I bring it up. Then again, it's sometime late. Okay. All right. How can we resolve this, guys? I need your help, young people. Shining stars, where are you? Again, I'm telling you, you will face this question in university anyway. As soon as you will enter in the university, you will face it. And again, some of you, you've already been in universities. Yes, he can create it. Again, then so understand the question. Can God create an unliftable stone? Unliftable by him. Which means he's not creating it. Unliftable by him. Yes, that's right. The question contradicts itself. That's a good point. So are you calling it a paradox? Are you calling it a paradox? How many of you are calling it a paradox? By the way, the Christian, they're trying to answer this for a long time, for centuries now. Okay, this question has been with us for so many, it's been there for centuries. Okay, I can put it this way. And
so
now,
we have, we have our hand raised here. Someone wants to come into the mic, I suppose.
Sure. Go ahead.
I think that the stone which Allah created to be not lifted, He can create it if He wanted to, but He's choosing not to.
But then again, the question is, can He create something which is unliftable by Himself? By Himself.
I don't really understand.
He can create. So again, let's say He created. So that means He's powerful, right? But then if He cannot, if He's unable to lift it, then He's not powerful.
Yeah.
Right? So it's contradicting itself, right? Like someone says that earlier, that these two statements are contradicting each other. Right?
It's contradicting, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So that's what it is. All right. So that's why I said, how many of you know the meaning of paradox? Why don't you Google, all of you Google paradox, the meaning paradox. All of you, if you have your phone, you can search on your mom's or dad's phone and search what's the meaning paradox is. Okay, so one, yeah, well, that's tazad. But yeah, I mean, you can search not the meaning in Arabic or in Farsi, but like you go and it says definition of paradox. Okay, so definition of paradox can explain. All right, so Sayyid Salman Ali, he said, God has no physical body, thus He has a power of kun fayakun. Therefore, by order, it can be moved and lifted. Well, see, the problem is, Sayyid Salman, it's not that, we are not saying that he doesn't have a power of kun fayakun. We're saying, can he, see, pay attention to the question. Can he create an unliftable? No one is saying that he has to lift by hand. And he has to lift by body. Let's say if we create an unliftable stone, unliftable by him, not by human, unliftable by him. Can he create that stone? So if you say yes, so it's not that he has to lift by the body or by the hand. He may, the other person says, all right, use his kun fayakun. He said kun and lift it. If he will lift it, then again, he didn't create the unliftable. He created the liftable, not the unliftable. See, it's a very tricky question. All right, let me ask you another question. Again, so it's not, we are not talking about that, is that creation has a power on. We don't call creation. Am I calling Ali as like omnipotent? I'm not. Am I calling you Hassan? Am I calling you Asim as omnipotent? I'm not calling you. So yeah, you may not be able to do so many things. You may not climb to Himalaya. You may not climb to Everest. You may not lift so many stones. There are so many stones in Dublin you cannot lift. So now it's not about creation. It's not about like human. It's talking about God. Can God Himself, God create an unliftable stone by Himself? Okay, not unliftable by humans, unliftable by Him with a capital H. Can He create it? Yeah, Alhamdulillah, when you're moving forward, you're going to this. This question is illogical, right? This question is illogical, but you have to prove how it's illogical. We are going in a right direction. Like someone said, the question contradicts itself. That's a very good. Then we got that its question is illogical. These are the good things. Alhamdulillah. All right. Now let me ask another question. So you can have more question, okay? Can God, you said God is all powerful. Can God create a circle which is square at the same time? I cannot even draw the picture because there are two pictures, circle or square. Okay. Can God create a circle which is circle but square at the same time? At the same from every dimension. It's a circle and square. All right, what's the answer, guys? Is it also illogical? And how it's illogical? So no, if it's a circle, then it can be a square, right? What about if it's a square? Can it be a circle? So what kind of a problem is this? Is that illogical, or is it illogical or impossible? Illogical and impossible, yeah. Yeah. Illogical and impossible. All right. Alhamdulillah, we are moving in the right direction. All right. Anyone? So in this sense, God could alter or change the laws of physics or anything which is beyond anything. All right, let me ask you this. All right. We are going in the right direction. Now let's move another question. So if God cannot create this stone, then how can you Muslim claim that God split the river? He split the river. Remember that story of Moses? Remember the story of Moses? You're saying God cannot create that stone. Can God? How did? Maybe it's a myth. Maybe it's not true that God created that. The Moses using a stick, he split the river, he split the sea. What about maybe it's a myth that Jesus gave life to a dead person? Maybe it's a myth that Abraham came out from the fire without getting burned. What's the answer, guys? Now I'm entering in a dangerous territory. If you're not going to come tomorrow, or you're not going to stay with me, and if you're not going to pay attention, then you're harming yourself, because then it can create a doubt in your mind. Okay, so that's why better now stay with us completely in this session and come tomorrow. Otherwise, you're going to harm yourself. All right, it's a good answer, Ali, that in this sense, God could alter or change the law of physics. When you say which is beyond anything, understanding and imagination. So they are saying, all right, this creating a stone which is unliftable by him is beyond our imagination and understanding. Then why can't God do it? So again, which means there is a problem with these statements that God clearly do things that are beyond our understanding and imagination. We need to clarify that. There is a problem with the statement that God can can okay. Now let me come back. Okay, let me go back here. All right. So the new people, they joined. Let me just, because there are several, I saw several people joined. We are discussing this question, is that can God create a stone that he cannot lift? This is a question. And no matter what you answer, this will end up as like God is not all powerful. Like, let's say this criteria here, that if you say, can God create a stone which he cannot lift? If you say no, then God is not all powerful. If you say yes, then the second question, can God lift the stone? If you say no, that God is still not powerful. If you say yes, then God did not create that unliftable stone, which means again, God is not powerful. No matter what you answer in this question, the answer is God is not powerful. Okay? Until you prove that this question is illogical. This question is illogical. You need to prove that part. So now you need to attack on the question, not try to solve this question. Okay? Now, how are you going to attack it? How are you going to prove it that it's illogical? And again, if you're not going to do this, the problem is bigger. Problem is bigger, because then I'm going to ask you, then can God make a dead person alive? Can God make a dead person alive? What's your answer, guys? Can't see this. Yes, very obviously, right? Yes, he can. So then can he save me from the fire? Yes, he can, like he did Abraham. Can he make a pebble talk? Yes, because he did that with the Prophet Muhammad. Can he split a river? Yes, because he did that with the Moses. Can he keep a person alive for the next 150 years? Yes, because he is keeping Imam Mahdi alive for more than 1,000 years. Can he save a person from a coronavirus? Yes, he can. Now, why he's not doing it? It's a separate story. He can. Okay. It's like this. Can you eat right now, all of you who are fasting, can you eat this biryani? You can, but you're not eating it because for the reason, right? There is a reason you're not doing it. Because you're fasting, right? But you have a power to eat. It's not that your power is gone. So if God is not curing someone from the coronavirus, it's not that God's power is gone. There is some reason that's why he's not doing it. Okay? You need to understand that part. Okay? This is not denying that God is not powerful. Okay? And again, if we not able to invalidate that question, then all this script will basically questionable. Where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that, like this hadith, Inna Allaha ala kulli shay'in qadir. We didn't come up with this. Then Maulana has said that God can do everything. No, here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Inna Allaha ala kulli shay'in qadir. Allah is capable of everything. Like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this one, alam ta'alam anna Allah ala kulli shay'in qadir. Do you not know that Allah is over all things? Again, this translation guy, the translation he did that, he was very nice. Seems like he knew what's this doubt. All things competent. It's very good. Like right now, you're in Dublin, I'm in Houston. Is God with you or God with me? Where is God, guys? Is with me or with you? With all of us, right? It's capable, right? He's with all of us. All right. I'm reading your comments. I'm reading your answer. I will answer them later on. Okay. Yeah, you're right. Which is all is powerful. But if these people in the universities, they create a doubt, then again we will have that doubt. See, the problem is, you need to understand this part. Sometimes we have a knowledge and other time we have yaqeen, certainty. So many of us, we have a knowledge that God is all powerful, but we do not have yaqeen. Otherwise, we're not going to complain to Allah. Okay? So that's why creating a one single doubt can shake that belief also. So we have to answer these things. All right. All right. And again, like this one, this ayah. You know this ayah? Who can explain this ayah? Can someone explain? All right. So who can anyone click by this ayah? Where in the this ayah is inna rabbi ma'i. So this is this way. Inna rabbi ma'i. And then after that, say hadin. See, this is about Moses. You know that yaqeen is so important. Okay. Why in our life our life is not improving? Because we don't have yaqeen. We don't have that certainty in our heart. Okay. Moses, this ayah is very interesting. Okay. You can check in Quran this ayah. Very interesting ayah. You know the scenario. Let me put the scenario. Moses is coming out from Egypt, right? With thousands of Bani Israel. And these Bani Israel, they have nothing. They were slaves. Okay. They don't even have sword. They only have like small sticks. That's all. Right? And Pharaoh, they're like a superpower. They have everything. They have everything. I mean, F-15s of their times. They have like the best swords, best power. No one can compete them. No one can compete them. And they allowed Moses, for whatever reason, they said, all right, go away, take your nation. And Moses took the nation from Egypt, and he's going towards one way. And now later on, all these ministers mentioned to Pharaoh, why did you allow him to go? Kill him. And Pharaoh said, all right, go kill him. Let's arrange a big, huge army. We're going to kill all of them. So now they're coming to kill all the Bani Israel. They're in thousands, including Moses. At one point, these guys, again, they're weak, they're poor, they're walking on foot. The army of Pharaoh, they're coming on horses. So of course, they're going to move really fast. These people going on, and not only like on feet regular, they have weak people with them. They have old people with them. They have ladies with them. They have children with them. They have their belongings with them. They're holding all these belongings because they're doing migration. They reach to a point, now the army is chasing them. They're almost there. They're standing there. Now they can see each other. Now they can see each other. Now, the situation for the people of Bani Israel and the Moses is on one side, it's Pharaoh's army. On the other side, now they reach to this sea. Red Sea. Some people call Red Sea, some people call Nile. So here, the response from the Bani Israel was, Inna la mudrakun. Moses, we are doomed. We're gone. They're going to kill us. Look at their faces. How angry they are. Look at the yaqeen and certainty of Moses here. He said, Like, it's not that Moses basically starts sweating. Oh my God, what should I do? This is all my responsibility. Now they're going to kill thousands and the thousands of the people. He has this yaqeen in his heart. He has this certainty in his heart. Inna Rabbi, indeed my Lord, my Rabb, Ma'i is with me. Sayahdeen, he will guide us. See, that yaqeen bring the help. And the help came. Allah said, Moses, hit the river by your staff, by your stick. And he did that and split the river. You know the rest of the story, right? So if we do not believe that all powerful being of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, yes, you can call it trust, but it's not just a trust. You need to believe that He is all powerful. It's all powerful every time. He's omnipotent. His omnipresence. He's like, He's kind. He's well aware where we are. Okay. So anyway, so important to resolve this question. Now let's go back to the question. So that's why we have to resolve this question. All right, we have a few minutes. Let's see, whatever minutes we have, we're going to resolve. Okay, let's find out what's the definition of paradox. Again, normally if you go on the website, they call it omnipotent paradox. Omnipotent paradox. That's what the Christians, they're trying to defend. They're trying to defend the omnipotence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, of God. Okay. What is the definition of paradox, guys? Let's see. A statement or a proposition that despite sound, okay, a statement or proposition that despite sound or apparently sound, reasoning from acceptable premises leads to a conclusion that seems senseless, logically unacceptable, or self-contradictory. See, I told you, you cannot answer that question. You cannot. Only way is that you attack the question. You attack the question and said, look, let me ask this. Look, let me review this question. Okay. Let me review this question. Can God create an unliftable stone by himself? Let's make like this question simple, simplified. Can God create an unliftable stone by him? Now we are saying, now I'm giving you a solution now. And now you need to help me. Now, first of all, it's saying that a statement, again, the Christians, they were saying that it's the omnipotent, or in fact, the atheists, they were also saying it's an omnipotent paradox. You know why they were saying omnipotent paradox? Because you have two statements. God is omnipotent. Omnipotent means he can do everything. And when you say he cannot create this stone, God cannot do everything. God can do everything. God cannot do everything. These two sentences are contradicting to each other, which means they're creating a doubt that whether God is, so they're canceling that first statement, God is omnipotent. Anyone, any comments so far? Are you with me? All of you. You're not hungry, are you? Okay. Yeah. That's right. That's right. That it's like it's an infinity and even number or odd number. But we need to, again, you cannot just say, you need to be, when you answer someone, in fact, when you're sitting in a class, let me tell you one thing. Some of my high school students, now they're in university, they told me that they're facing these questions in university right now. and systematically. In fact, when I'm checking with him, my daughter says she also faced the same question from her psychology professor. And then these guys are getting in the class of philosophy 101, and they're talking about these things. So when you answer to someone who is a professor or assistant professor, you cannot just say whatever you like to say. Your answer need to have some logic. You need to have some, otherwise you would say it's illogical. It doesn't make any sense. What you're saying doesn't make any sense. And you sit down, please. And your class fellow, they will say, yeah, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? So your answer need to be systematic, in proper form, okay? All right. So again, let's see paradox. We say that there are two statements. God is omnipotent, which means omnipotent says, what does omnipotent mean? Can do everything. Beyond imagination. Like some of you quoting that, beyond imagination. Then they says God cannot create this stone, which means God cannot do everything. God can do everything, God cannot. So you see the two statement I'm putting there. This is first statement, God can do everything. This is the second statement, God cannot do everything. They're canceling each other. It's a paradox. All right, let me give you some example. See what they're saying. God is omnipotent, all powerful. And then look at that same color. God is omnipotent, God is non-omnipotent. They're canceling each other. Okay? Now let me give you more examples so you can understand paradox. Okay? Let's simplify this sentence. If I will make these two statements, God is omnipotent. All right, let me just skip this part. I'm not discussing this. Now, simple. Ali is doctor. Ali is not a doctor. Are you not that saying that, Maulana, explain me. What do you want? Either say Ali is a doctor or say Ali is not a doctor. This is like contradicting information you're giving me, right? Ali is a doctor, Ali is not a doctor. Right? Agree or not? Okay. Now, let me put another question. Ali is afraid, Ali is not afraid. There is a reason I'm putting more question, okay? There is a reason. Please pay attention. Is it not apparently contradicting each other? Ali is afraid, Ali is not afraid. Guys, I need your answer. Yes or no? Is it not apparently contradicting each other? All right. Knowledge of Ali is complete. Knowledge of Ali is not complete. They are all apparently contradicting each other. Area of Houston, this Houston, we have, if you go search Google, you say area of Houston 669 miles. And if you go and again, you see that area of Houston is more than 1,000 miles. So which means area of Houston is not 669 miles. All of them, they are apparently contradicting each other. Again, what if I tell you that there is no paradox in this sentence? Right now, we are trying to understand paradox, okay? And we are practicing to find out when two sentences, they are contradicting each other, when they're not contradicting each other. Why? Because we have to resolve. These people, they were saying, you know, God cannot make this task, cannot perform this task. Well, you're saying God is omnipotent. Now we are saying God omnipotent means God can perform all the tasks. Now we are saying God cannot perform all the tasks, which is contradicting to each other. Like it's the same thing. I said, all right, forget about that task right now. I'm saying Ali is a doctor, Ali is not a doctor. Are they contradicting? I said, I can prove you that it's not contradicting. Yes, you're thinking, see, that's the beauty, right? Ali is that, it's a different Ali. It's a different Ali. Right? It's a different Ali. It's a different Ali. What about let me go back here. What about Ali is afraid? Ali is not afraid. Maybe Ali is afraid at night and Ali is not afraid in the morning. Okay, yeah, you can say Ali is afraid of something but not afraid of something else, right? The two statements, they are not contradictory, right? What about knowledge of Ali is complete? Knowledge of Ali is not complete. Knowledge of Imam Ali is complete. Knowledge of this Ali in Dublin is not complete. Very good. Now you're coming with this something. Now you're understanding. You're exactly going this step. Different subjects, different predicate, different condition. Area of Houston is 669 miles. Area of Houston is not 669 miles. Different Houston in the sense that different part of this. One time someone is looking a metropolitan Houston, other time is looking for the city of Houston. Very good question. Stay here. But we are talking about this God who is one. I know that. God is one. But we need to find out the definition of God. Okay? Okay, Sayyid Salman? Stay there. Stay there. That's a very good question. Yes, we are talking about the same God. But then again, we will find out what's the definition of God. Okay? Let's stay on that. We are not saying that there is another God. All right. Now let me present this. About 300, 400 years ago, one of the great scholar, he put this, he was a great scholar. He put this poetry. He resolved this logic contradiction, tazad and paradox. Okay, he said there are 8 conditions that need to meet in a paradox. Like some of you rightfully mentioned that subject is different, right? He said, it's in Farsi. He put this in poetry. The tanaqus mean paradox. He said, in tanaqus, in paradox, hasht, wahdat, shart, dan. Hasht mean 8, wahdat mean unity. 8 unities need to be there if you really wants to have a paradox. Okay. Number 1, there need to be unity of subject, which means if I'm saying this Ali is a doctor, this Ali, same Ali, and then I'm saying this same Ali is not a doctor, then I'm trying to, from the subject wise is same, then I'm trying to create a paradox. Okay. The same thing with predicate. All right. Like, for example, I give you this example. I'll say this Ali is a doctor, right? Now the different Ali, and again, I'm saying this Ali, the same Ali is not a doctor. How come this is not a paradox? Can someone help me? What's different? Ali is the same. Subject is the same. Ali is a doctor. Ali is not a doctor. Same Ali. Same Ali. Subject is same. Can someone help me? See, Sayyid Salman, they earlier asked that God is the same. He says the doctor is the same. Hey, no, doctor has 2 meanings. One time is a medicine doctor, other time is a PhD doctor. So when I'm saying first time that Ali is a doctor, I was saying he's a PhD doctor. Other time when I was saying Ali is not a doctor, I'm saying he's not a medical doctor. You got it? So see, the predicate is different. So previously subject was different, now predicate was different, right? So, and so there are 2 things, right? In Tanaqus, there need to be 8 conditions need to meet before you can call, before you will call anything, it's a paradox. Or yeah, or one, yeah, you can say that he's not a functional. Very good. All right, that's another point. All right, Sayyid Salman brought a very good system. Okay, let me put another. I'll put like sometime someone have a potential of something, but functionally it's not there. Like someone has let's say someone is going to the medical school, and we said that, look, Ali is going to medical school, right? And we're saying Ali is a doctor, which means not right now. Someone said, no, Ali is not a doctor. He said, no, Ali is a doctor. He's going to medical school, right? So one person is looking, he says, no, he's not functionally, he's not a doctor right now. Other person says, no, potentially he's a doctor because he will be graduate in a year. He was a doctor, right? So see this one part, which says, this one, kuwe or fail. Kuwe means potentiality and fail is functionality. You see that? Got it? Unity of time. Like when I say Ali is afraid at night. Ali is not afraid. Ali is not afraid in the morning, which means the time is different now. When I say the possessive noun, which the knowledge of Ali, knowledge of which Ali Amirul Mu'minin, his knowledge is complete, is infallible. The knowledge of this Ali, Dr. Ali, his knowledge is limited. Okay? So again, in order to say anything, when say God can do everything, we need to define that everything and we need to define that God. And then you say God cannot do everything. Again, we need to define everything. These both, everything need to have a same statement. That God need to have a same statement. Otherwise, it will not be a paradox. You got it? I'm still gradually taking you over there. Okay? Gradually taking you over there. Yes, like Sayyid Salman said, Ali is afraid of dark at night, but he is not afraid of light at a day. Yeah, that's right. All right, let me. So again, there are 8 things. Wahdat mawzu means subject. Mahmul means predicate. Makan, but place. Let's say the mass, let me put this. I saw this statement that Apollo launch mass was 32,000 pounds. And Apollo launch mass was not 32,000 pounds. Depending on where, on moon or on earth. Why the mass of Apollo over there at the moon was low? Why? Can anyone help? Why the mass over there is gravity? The gravity is less over there. Gravity over here is more. So see, the makan can also changing. That place is also is a condition of paradox. Need to have a same place in order to say it's contradictory or not contradictory. Like I can say namaz-e-ayat is wajib. Namaz-e-ayat is not wajib. Can someone help me? Namaz-e-ayat is wajib when? Let's say I'm saying, making 2 statements. Hey, namaz-e-ayat is wajib. Namaz-e-ayat is not wajib. Namaz-e-ayat is wajib when there is a solar eclipse. Yeah, natural opposite. It's not wajib when there is no natural disaster, right? So you see there are 8 things. Again, see how intelligent our philosopher were. Like this is, he put this in the poetry, okay? Which says that in a paradox, you need to check 8 conditions. When you check all of these 8 conditions and all of them same and it's like contradicting each other, then you can say it's a paradox. All right? Please recite a loud salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad wa Farhat. So again, now I gave you this. Now I give you this idea that the way tomorrow we are going to attack this statement is that this statement, God can do everything. God cannot do everything. Or God is omnipotent. We say, what's the definition of omnipotent? And God is not omnipotent. We need to find out the definition of omnipotent. Maybe we have a problem over there. Maybe we made a mistake when we said God can do unimaginable. Maybe that's not the definition of omnipotent. Who said that that's a definition of omnipotent? God can do beyond imagination. God can do everything. Maybe that's a wrong statement. I'm giving you the hint. I'm giving you the hint. I'm giving you the hint. Which means that everything needs to be defined. Which means we have to define those impossibilities. We need to define God. God mean not just the God because you're saying God, I'm saying God. What's the definition of the God is? What's the definition of that subject is? We need to say that. Like this says, can God, let me give you another question. Can God create another God? Can God create another God? What's the answer? Oh, this is wrong. This is contradictory to each other. Why? The definition of God is, like Quran said, Lam Yalid. God means who was not get created. So if that second God, he got created, it's not a God. Okay? Now what kind of an impossibility is this? Again, we will discuss this tomorrow. Okay? Let me give you some more hint. That's from your Sunday school. And I will go beyond that. Okay? Who is God? First of all, you need to find out. According to Islam, the attributes of gods of three kinds. Okay, now you go and look for your Sunday school books. Okay, it's sifat, positive attribute. What's the name of the positive attribute? Sifate sabuti. And the negative attributes, sifate
salbiya.
Salbiya. Okay, now pay attention to this and read these things right tomorrow, and then from there we'll talk about. So God cannot be a God if we have sifat salbiya, which means he's weak. He cannot be God. Which means he being created, it's not a God. Non-existence, not a God. Being subject to perish, not a God. Has similarity with a created being, not a God. Needing assistance from others, not a God. Weakness, not a God. Ignorance, not a God. Death, not a God. Being controlled, not a God. So I'm giving you a hint right now, but you need to think tonight and tomorrow morning about this. So according to Islam, the attributes of gods of three kinds. Positive attributes, attribute that God, Allah essentially possesses. Possible attribute that Allah may possess or may not possess. Read these chapters from Sunday school books. And then negative attributes, the attribute that Allah does not and cannot possess. All right, inshallah, we'll talk tomorrow. Please recite aloud salawat. And I will request all of you to join tomorrow so you can have the answer, okay? I don't want you that you will receive the partial information that can confuse you. I don't want that, okay? I don't want that. You need to better get the complete information. The partial information sometimes is dangerous, okay? So any question before we will just, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept your ibadat, inshallah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give shifa for all the marda. Please pray for all those mu'mineen and mu'minat. They're suffering. In India, there are so many mu'mineen, they're suffering right now. In Pakistan, there are so many mu'mineen, they're suffering. And again, in Middle East, Iran, Yemen, there are people that are suffering. Syria, Palestine. Just pray for all of them. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give shifa. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala relieve them, provide faraj in their amur, inshallah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect our elders. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have maghfirat for all of our marhumeen. Especially, remember Dr. Waqar, inshallah, today. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect all mujahideen, all ulama Rabbani, May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect Rahbar Muazzam, inshallah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala hasten the zuhur of our beloved Imam, Hazrat Hujjatullah, and give us a tawfiq that we will be his helper and associate, inshallah. Rahimallahu man qari al-Fatiha ma'as salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala Muhammad wajjil faraj. Bismillah.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ajil farajahum. Jazakallah, Agha sahab. Thank you so much for another amazing discussion tonight. Hopefully our youth will come back, inshallah, either with more questions or with answers to the questions, inshallah, tomorrow. So let's conclude the program tonight with the dua Imam-e-Zamana, and may we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless us all, keep us all safe, and accept our, inshallah, ibadah. Inshallah, we'll see you again out tomorrow. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد اللهم كن لوليك حجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين وصلى الله